Hey everybody, this is your friend Mr. Topo here with another movie review. I just watched the teen comedy sex romp known as Sex Drive. It just came out on DVD last week, so I don't know. The trailers for it, when it came out in the theater, looked interesting, but it never looked like anything quite enough to get me to see it in the theater. For those who don't remember, it was about this kid that found this girl on the internet. Like, he was in a chat room and he made this like avatar of himself, and he was he portrayed himself as this big, cut dude, and then this chick that he's talking to on the internet says that she wants to bang him, and then he gets in like a donut suit and hilarity ensues. Yeah, this movie is one to stay away from. If you looked up mediocrity in the dictionary, I think Sex Drive would be right next to it. You're basically, like I just said, that's your basic plot. Kid goes on the internet, finds a chick that says he wants to do him, and then they go on this road trip, and you have the nerdy kid that doesn't want to have sex, or, well, excuse me, that's scared to have sex, but he's the nice guy, and he always gets screwed over. Then you have his slick-talking friend that always gets laid, who lives his life like he has to act like a jerk around chicks to get laid. He's kind of heavy, so I never quite understand it. Like, I guess that's a joke in itself. Like, he's kind of fat and he still gets laid all the time. But anyway. And then there's the third character, which is the nerdy kid's hot ass best friend, who's a girl who it's one of those situations where does she really like him, or do they want to just be friends? And I think we all know how that's going to end up without giving you any spoiler warnings, because I don't know, you've seen this movie 8,000 times. This is not breaking any new ground. Not that comedies out of any genre really need to break any new ground, but this movie, there's really nothing to it. The pacing seems off, the jokes really aren't that funny, and the jokes that are there just seem bland. The characters are all pretty awful, and like I said, there's really nothing to it. The best parts, the characters are all flat, the dialogue is just really boring. The best parts of the entire movie come right towards the end of the movie, but at that point you're just waiting for the movie to end. I don't know, it's one of those things where it's just like, I can't say that I like hate the whole thing, but it's just it's so like milquetoast that it doesn't really invoke a strong reaction either way. You kind of look at comedies that have been coming out recently, like the Judd Apatow comedies, and that has like really clever and snappy dialogue, and the plot kind of moves itself along quickly. A lot of people say there isn't much plot, but at least it moves fast. This movie was just like, you have your plot, and then like it was how many wacky things can happen to them in between going on this long car trip. I mean, the whole thing was just stupid. I mean, it was just like, well, they're going to stop and they're going to find a tree that there's a bunch of shoes on, so they're going to throw their shoes on it. They're going to go to a fair and enter like a strongman, or one of those like test your strength things, and that's going to turn into something funny. They're going to get arrested. They're going to like bang some girl at a truck stop. I mean, in theory, these are all funny sounding scenarios, but in execution, it's something else completely different. I don't know, like I said, I didn't really care for it. The only plus is that the girl that's the nerdy guy's best friend is super hot, and I don't think I've ever seen her in a movie before. And she'll be showing up in a lot of my masturbation fantasies from now on, so that's a plus for me personally. But other than that, stay away from Sex Drive. It's very boring. There's really not that much funny about it. But if you want to see some new young hot starlet, just Google, I don't know her name, but she's like one of the three main characters, so enjoy a good wank. Good night.